Antes de abrir fogo em uma escola e matar 19 crianças e 2 professoras, o atirador do Texas deixou um rastro digital. Ele usou as redes sociais para postar fotos de armas e mensagens enigmáticas sobre um possível ataque. Com isso, voltou à tona o papel das redes sociais como fomentadoras do extremismo.
So we use social media as if it's like a mirror that we can hold up and look at our society. But actually what it is a prism that is boosting extremism and muting moderation. So on Twitter, for example, about 6% of Twitter users create about 73% of tweets about politics in the US. And that 6% of Twitter users has very extreme views.
Assim como o atirador de Uvalde, no Texas, muitas das pessoas que adotam posturas extremistas online tendem a ser indivíduos solitários, com dificuldade de inclusão offline, mas que, embalados pelos algoritmos das redes sociais, encontram na internet a validação que tanto buscam.
Many people who are social outcasts in their real lives, they look to social media for a sense of status. And these are the types of people who in the US are the political trolls who are causing a lot of the trouble. But for them, they're getting a badly needed sense of belonging. You know, they belong when they see people liking their content, new followers or getting a rise out of other people, right? It's a way of having power and control for people who have no power and control.
Se a internet pode ser um ambiente tóxico e perigoso para muita gente, para crianças e adolescentes é ainda pior. Em plena fase de desenvolvimento, jovens tendem a ser mais vulneráveis ao conteúdo online, que pode desafiar sua autoestima, provocar ansiedade e até deixar uma pessoa insensível à violência.
Taking, as their frontal, cortex is developing, it's a lot of not realizing that this could happen, this could really affect your future in the long term, the thing that you're doing right now. So really think twice, and that's something that's really hard for them as they get older. And with the fast-paced nature of social media, sometimes it's tempting to kind of just quickly, send off something that might seem really, really funny at the moment, but really it could set off something even worse, can backfire.
Because we're constantly scanning our social environment for clues about how to belong, how do we fit in, and who's a friend and who's an enemy. And unfortunately, when social media distorts who we interact with, when we interact with extremists from the other side, we come to misunderstand them as moderates from the other side. And so we have to think about how the structure of social media incentivizes different types of behavior. Right now, we're only incentivized for saying extreme things.
Ainda que o diálogo familiar e escolar sobre o uso das redes sociais seja fundamental, é importante entender que educação não influencia muito o comportamento online. Na internet, parece valer tudo, contanto que o seu argumento, mesmo que falso e extremo, reforce as suas crenças políticas.
One thing that's interesting is education doesn't necessarily seem to insulate people from poor behavior on the internet. So there's a new study that's coming out this week by a political scientist that looked at who shares fake news. And they were able to watch people online, but also survey them offline. So they could ask questions like, were these uneducated people or were these people who maybe had low cognitive ability? And actually what they found is education and cognitive ability had no effect on whether people were sharing fake news. The number one reason people were sharing fake news was their political beliefs. So in other words, they were using fake news as kind of a weapon, right? Even when they probably knew it was false.